Yes, I kick the ladies out so I can introduce someone who's concerned about ladies who go gaga or cuckoo, more like, after they have babies. Because the fact that they mentioned that they are cuckoo is one of the problems that we have in our society. Things happen to women when they have babies. Right, Dr. Onyedikachi Ekwereke?
Correct.
Excellent.
Excellent.
So 2 years ago, you started this your NGO.
Yeah.
Why?
So 2 years ago, I started Postpartum Support Network Africa because I had a personal experience of a relative who suffered postpartum psychosis, which is actually a severe mental illness that occurs after childbirth. And at the time, she had nowhere to run to, and no one was actually listening to me because I was a young boy. You know, I was 25.
You're still a young boy.
I guess. I was 25 and everybody thought you had no experience. And what do you know? This is beyond academics. It's one thing to have a degree in psychology or a master's degree in psychology. It's another thing to understand what is happening. This was spiritual. And so they took her from pillar to post and she was not getting any better. And it got me thinking, how many more women were out there who did not understand what was happening to them? And how many more families needed support? And at the time, so I looked on the internet for help. On how.
Were you working anywhere at that time?
Yes, so I've always worked private practice. But I was thinking that people didn't get access to maternal mental health care. People weren't even aware that there are conditions like postpartum depression or postpartum psychosis. Everybody thought it was a spiritual problem. And I thought to myself, what use would it be to have a degree in psychology and not put it to practical use to help these women if I just sit down and I fold my arms? And so I decided to structure an intervention program that actually not only educates, but screen women while they are pregnant, to be able to know.
What are the signs, please? Let me know.
Also, the symptoms of signs of postpartum depression are similar to any kind of depression, any clinical depression. So you have feelings of sadness, persistent feelings of sadness for 2 weeks or more. You have weepiness. So a woman just stays and she's crying for no reason, and people are asking her, why are you crying now? And she doesn't know.
You should be happy, a baby is coming.
Exactly, and that's some of the misconceptions that we have here in Africa, even generally in the world. Because I went to the United States recently, and it was the same thing. You know, people expect a woman to be happy when she has the baby. Not that many people are telling the women the real stories. I remember one woman saying that if my mother had told me that this is what she went through,
my mother probably didn't go through it. Is it possible? I mean, is it genetic? Is it hereditary?
Yes, it is, certainly. So if you have a history of depression in your family, then you're susceptible. And if you have a mother who suffered depression, you have 50% susceptibility to postnatal depression.
But is it my mother survived it? Why can't I survive it?
Everybody has a potential to survive postnatal depression. 1 in 5 women will become depressed. So it
1 in 5?
Yes, so it's more prevalent than we think.
1 in 5 women will become depressed, or 1 in 5 women after childbirth?
Yes, after childbirth.
That's a high number.
Yes, that's a high number. I have reasons to believe that it will be even higher here because the statistics that we use is the international statistics. But with our high poverty rates, you know, and all the whole stresses that we have in our own environment, I feel like it will be higher. And so when we even go for our outreach programs in hospitals, you find women saying, I feel that way even now while I'm pregnant. You know, and that's the thing people are not looking at.
So how do you operate?
And so we operate as a non-profit organization. We run programs in hospitals during antenatal and postnatal immunizations. We go to these hospitals, we educate the mothers about postnatal depression. We screen them using a tool. Are
you seeing many numbers?
Ridiculous, actually. So in a hospital like Orili Agege General Hospital, for example, you could meet as high as 140 women.
Isn't it possible that these women are pretending? Something?
Not quite. So what I often say is if she has to tell you that she's feeling sad, she's probably serious. Nobody wants to open up and tell you that I'm feeling sad and depressed because
we are not giving them money.
And it's stigmatized too. So for a woman to be courageous enough to say, I don't feel quite okay, I think something is wrong with me, I need help, then you know that she's probably suffering for a long time.
So what does your foundation do for them? Do you give them help when they say this has happened? Are you helping them diagnose?
Certainly. So once we screen these women during antenatals and we tell them they're susceptible, we follow them up. We actually call them and say, hi, we think you might be struggling emotionally from what you disclose to us. And we have a clinical psychologist that's willing to help you for free.
It costs money.
Yes, but
so who's paying the bills?
The thing is that, I pay the bill, so I work a regular job and I use almost half of my salary to fund this project. But I also have a team of fantastic young individuals who are passionate about this cause and are putting their own funds to it. And recently we got a grant too, you know, from ACT Foundation, who have been very fantastic.
That's how I found out about you, actually.
Oh, really? And really brilliant.
Because they've been on the show.
Oh, that's really great. So we had our first funding, significant funding, to run these programs for 10 months, and we on the course of this program now. Our goal is actually to educate 2,000 women, but right now we're moving beyond educating the women to educating the nurses, because we realize that to be more sustainable, it is the nurses who are in these hospitals that have the responsibility to educate these women. And so not just go to the hospitals and clap your hands during antenatals and dance, but actually get real content.
So because I didn't bring you here for nothing, I'm going to engage with my other ladies who are waiting in the wings for us to talk about how NGOs can help development and how others can also support that.
Certainly.
So thank you, Nye Dikachi. We'll be right back with my guests shortly. Hopefully, as we return, I'll be able to finish all I want to do. But if I don't, I'm going to scroll all their contact details on screen so that you can get to be part of it. And again, this conversation can continue on Twitter anyway. So I'm going to kick it off by asking these two ladies, did you experience depression like this? Is this true what he's saying? And you're both doctors. Neka?
Yeah, I did. That was my first child. And I had looked for a baby for 3 years. So you can imagine, I had to tell myself, what the heck is wrong with you? You know, and I just, okay, this is postnatal blues. You have to deal with it.
Because you knew there was a name for it. Yes. Did you experience it too?
I definitely had it, but because I knew what it was, because I'm a doctor, and then they had educated me very well in the hospital, I knew what was wrong. But I definitely felt it. I felt cranky towards the baby, towards my husband. I didn't feel connected. I was exhausted.
So it seems almost impossible, unbelievable that you would take a child. I was watching a movie recently, and they talked about how the woman gave her children Benadryl.
Benadryl?
Yes, Benadryl to, you know, at least get them, but she overdosed them.
Oh, no.
So she had to use her own hand to call doctor to come and help her. But they were just too much trouble.
Yeah, so the thing about postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis is it affects the woman.
I don't like the word psychosis.
Oh, well, no, but blues is not even depression.
Blues is not the same thing as every woman has blues.
Of women who have babies will experience blues.
It's the hormone, the hormonal changes from the stress of the labor and the hormone changes.
So there's a difference between psychosis and blues.
And depression. There's a difference between blues, depression, and psychosis. Psychosis is
spectrum
out of reality. Like you lose touch reality completely. So you're hallucinating. You're seeing things that other people don't see. So I could say, can you see Madam Adiswa? Can you see like there's a giraffe on top of your head? And you're saying no giraffe, and I'm like, but there's a giraffe. You know,
oh, wow.
After childbirth, it's serious.
So we call it witchcraft here.
Yeah, so we think it's witchcraft, and everything is spiritual here.
All of you are doing work that